to a double kick part where we just go, and then I go, try to do the Gojira sound.
That's awesome. Pavel, did you get that or not?
No, the word.
Okay, hold on. So you're gonna show me this again,
Sure.
Wolf. Okay, so how do you get that sound?
I thought it was like just like a regular pick scrape, but it's more going like trying to slice your strings like this and using your thumb to press. So like going. Getting that. Still not good at it, but it's fun to try and fit it.
Love that.
In places.
Wolf, pleasure to have you here.
Happy to be here, man. It's been a long time. We've been
Been a
talking
long
about this
time.
for what, like 5 years now?
Yeah, yeah. You got a new record?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It's our first titled record. It's exciting. It's called
Yeah.
The End. I think some people were thrown off by the title. It's not
Because
the
it
end.
has a title?
Yeah, because one, it has a title, and one,
it's
it's the end.
Yeah.
And it's our third album. So yeah, it's not the end. I just think lyrically, my headspace, I was just kind of mired in that sort of thinking. I realized like that was sort of the through line lyrically in a lot of the songs, and it just we got the copyright on the name, so the WVH isn't there anymore. So it's like just like it's a new era. It felt like the time to like new record. It's not Mammoth 3 title, new name, everything. Just kind of moving forward. The end of the old, the end is a new beginning, I guess, if you want to be poetically douchey about it.
I saw a picture of you guys tracking drums. I think you did it at 5150, is that right? Elvis Basquiat has made all 3 of your records.
Yeah.
Elvis, I'm a huge fan of. He's amazing.
He's the best.
How do you start making a record? What's your process?
So with the first 2, first was a bit different because it was just like trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
But overall, I'll write demos on my laptop, like on Logic, I'm never too picky. I just want to hear the ideas together, hear the parts together and make sure it sounds good. I'll just hammer out the demo perfectly to how we want it, and then I'll just go into the studio, play the drums to it. You're kind of just like, remove the drums, play the drums.
So you program drums too, right?
Yeah. And it was just whatever Logic stuff. And that's what we did for the first 2 records. But for this one, I think the reason it felt so fresh and different. We for the first 2 records, there was always something wrong with the studio. So it's like we would be started and then be like 2 more weeks of like, we need this, we're missing that, the tape machine doesn't work, this, whatever. The thing that locks the tape machine to Pro Tools really breaks a lot.
Okay.
And they're hard to find. And so that's always the issue, but we secured it in time and had a backup in case it didn't work. And we got into the studio and I just had my quick little ideas on my phone or like random Logic demos that I didn't put that much work into. And we decided to do pre-pro in the studio where I would tell Jeff Mall, our engineer, or I would ask him, hey, can you put the tempo here? And then I would play the guitar riff to it. And then I would run out and then play drums. Okay. And then I'd come back and play bass to that. And so it was like what I was doing on Logic, just in person and quick. So you could really tell if you were on the right path. I think sometimes I can get lost in Logic and just the creative flow sort of dies because you're just spending 4 hours picking what you want the snare to sound like, and you just get lost in the sauce.
Let me ask you this: how picky do you get when you're doing stuff like that? When you're just in that writing phase?
If I have a specific like fill idea, I'll make sure to like really like if you know the song "Feel" from the first record.
Yeah.
I programmed the whole drum solo because I just had it in my head and I wanted to see if I could do it like programming wise. But
do you sit there and kind of go like this, and think about it first, and then do you play it on a keyboard?
No, I actually I click and drag and I do it MIDI slot by MIDI slot.
Right.
But usually I'll kind of lazy out and
funny.
I'll just copy it for the verse, and if I have a little fill, I'll put it in there. But
sure.
So it's time consuming for me, but it's how I like it because I don't want like the AI drummer mic to play, whatever,
Right.
But then now with how we did it this time, it's like, I want to do it that way now because it's a lot easier.
So you'll have your demo with all your guitars. How much of the stuff do you keep?
None of it.
None of it.
It's literally just scratch tracks to record to.
And how long do you guys take getting drum sounds and guitar sounds and all that?
Maybe a week.
I ask you this because you make your records sound amazing.
Thank you. that means a lot. We put a lot of work into it. I think it sounds good. I think there's a lot of people, I think maybe who have older ears that listen and say it sucks, or maybe they just, don't like me, whatever. But I think it sounds good. It's a modern mix. We do record to tape, but it's a modern mix.
You're a modern artist.
So it makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah, no, we'll spend like a week, sort of. But at this point, we know what we like, so this one came together relatively quickly. And I knew I wanted to be a little more raw. Like if you listen to the whole record, there's a lot more studio noise and pickup buzz. And I mean, at the beginning of the end, I'm yelling into the pickups and stuff like that. Just random stuff like that. I wanted to make sure that was still there so you kind of feel like you're in the studio.
Before we go any further, I want to quickly interject that 57% of you watching right now are not subscribed to my channel. So please hit the subscribe button now. Thanks. I'm going to start by playing something. I'm going to play the end. I'm going to start with the end.
Okay.
How's that?
Good. It's a great place to start. Yeah, that's a source of infection Easter egg, like at the beginning of that song. Take one, and then the big tapping thing from
Talking
What You Went Into.
Into the pickup.
I think it was just like through the board, but me, I just yelled it on the pickup.
Tell me about this riff that you're doing,
thing?
the slapping riff.
Sure.
Dude, your time is phenomenal.
Thank you. I think my dad was right to start me on drums. It's a really good place to start rhythmically. You just understand music from that dynamic first, and you kind of grow from there. So I think that really has helped me a lot. I like that. I started on that.
I mean, really, all of your stuff, when you're playing your bass, everything
I play guitar like a drummer. I play bass like a drummer. Like it's everything I start with is the rhythm of it. And I think that's what's fun. Where I personally think it really locks in, where the rhythm section is just me. It's tight because it's my instincts and exactly what I would play it on each instrument. So that's why it's really, really tight.
Okay, so how do you play the slapping riff?
Okay, so it's literally just a bass slap part, and I get it. I totally get it. A lot of people were like, "Oh, a little bit of Mean Street there, eh, Wolf?" And no, it's not. Mean Street is, and
of course you can play that, Wolf.
A little bit, but it's just a bass slap part. When you hear it,
When you do it on the bass, it's a bass
that's how
slap
I wrote
part.
it. And I told Elvis, I was like, "Hey, I have this cool idea that could be a cool break in it." And I looked at him, and I was like, "It goes like this." And I was like, "But imagine that on the bass." And Elvis, the cool dude he is, was like, "You need to do that on guitar."
On the guitar, yeah.
And that's how that little intro thing. So it's literally just a bass slap part, but the plucks are the harmonics on the 7th fret on A and G. So. But then you have to sing at the same time. I remember I asked Elvis, I was like, "How the hell am I supposed to do this live?" And he's like, "That's a problem for you to figure out later." And I figured it out, but it was tough to figure out.
Is it just a matter of practicing it a bunch of times?
That's really all it is. You just got to put the time in. I remember specifically watching you talk to Les Claypool about Tommy the Cat, which is like, when I think of who is the best at just like separation, it's him, man. Just Tommy the Cat alone is unbelievable. The fact that he's just like,
What's interesting, because I've asked,
while rapping.
I asked
you know?
a lot of bass players, I asked Sting about how he plays the bass, and everybody just says the same thing. I practice it a lot. I mean, right?
It's funny. Like a lot of people are really, it comes from a really nice place where people are like, oh, those jeans, man, you got those jeans, and it's like, I've been playing for 20 years.
Right.
So while the jeans sure maybe make me a bit more musically inclined or interested, they don't make my muscles do it.
Right.
It's a matter of just you put in the time, and
As I like to say, Wolf, instruments don't play themselves. It's like
Sure.
you have to put in the work. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
All right. So a song like this, which actually has a really intricate arrangement, are you playing to the demo when you're doing it at first, and you start replacing each part? Do you do the drums first?
Always drums first.
Okay.
Usually, not usually, always it's drums, then bass, then rhythms, and then usually we'll do whatever like mini maybe leads, or like in the chorus there's the like stuff, those sort of octaves or whatever layers. It was in between the last two Metallica shows in Mexico that we opened for that I recorded most of the demos. And then when I got back, we started tracking. And then we took a break for the holidays and then got back together at the beginning of January. And then that's when we used that break of time for me to work on lyrics and vocal and melodies and stuff and guitar solos. And then we get back together and do all that and anything we may have missed. But we like to split it up that way just to give me, because normally with a band where everybody's a separate person, while the drummer's recording, the singer can work on the vocals. And, but since it's just me, we need that little bit of extra time, I think.
And how much practice do you do beforehand? Like if you're doing a drum part like that, do you need to practice them that much or not really?
Not really.
Because once you've programmed them, you know exactly
I've found
what
that
it
if I
is.
can play what's in my head on my knees like this,
Yeah.
it just give me 3 takes and I'll have it.
Yeah.
There was a lot like the very first song off of the second album, Right?
Yeah.
I did not know how I was going to play that drum part. It's the one that's it starts on the up, so it's 1, 2, 3.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. I knew what it was, but I was just visualizing. Like I think I know how I want to do it, and I didn't really actually try until I sat there the day we were recording it. Usually, I like to leave the demo really vanilla, so that when I sit down on the kit, usually the fills, unless there's something really specific I have in mind, everything sort of comes naturally.
How long do you guys spend getting drum sounds?
Not too long. Like I let kind of Elvis take that.
And did you do
over.
all 3 records? Did you do the drums at your studio? At
Yes,
5150?
except for there's a couple songs off the first record, like Stone and Epiphany, that we did at Studio B at NRG because we were rehearsing for the last Van Halen tour up at 5150, and I couldn't be like, hey, Dad, I got to record. Right. So it was only those 2 songs that we did at NRG, but everything else has been at 5150.
Do you guys kind of have like a working thing? You guys made a lot of records together. You played on other records that Elvis has worked on too.
Yeah, I played drums and a little bit of bass on...
Tremonti, was it?
Bass was with Tremonti on... we recorded it all at once, but it was 2 records, Cauterize and Dust.
Yeah.
And then that's where I first met Elvis, and we really hit it off, and then I showed him some of my demos, and that's how that happened. And then I also played drums and a little bit of bass on Clint Lowry's solo record, God Bless the Renegades. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but we just have such a great working relationship that it's like, and we're also very good friends, that it's like, it's important to have, I think when a lot of people see that I'm playing everything, first they either go, I thought a lot of people were going to be like, hey, that's cool, but a lot of people actually go, what an asshole.
What?
I think they just think I might be a control freak, and but this is just like I've done the band thing, and this is what Mammoth started as,
Right.
and it's where I don't know, it's sort of my musical thing. But they think that there's not a lot of collaboration happening. But Elvis is kind of that other half of the band in the studio. Like he helps keep me from doubting myself or let me know I'm on the right track, because he can see the bigger picture way better than I can. I tend to get lost in the sauce a little bit, and focused on one thing or one another, but he's really good at seeing the big picture, and he knows how to steer me, so to speak.
I want to play a couple other things here.
Yeah.
Epiphany.
Yeah. These drums are way harder than they seem.
I was wondering about that.
This was one where I programmed it and then was like, oh shit, this is hard to do.
Now, on you're making your first record. This came out in what, June 2021, I think?
Yeah, but we started recording stuff in
like years
January
before, right?
2015.
You hadn't really you'd sung when you were playing in Van Halen, you'd sung background vocals and everything, but you weren't a lead singer at that time. What is it like to kind of discover your voice as a lead singer, and how difficult was that?
I think I'm still discovering it. I think I'm the most confident I've been as a lead singer, especially on this record, on the end. I really feel like I'm a lead singer now that I have, we've done over 300 shows. It's just the amount of time you put into it. So I definitely feel more confident now. But starting out, I knew I wanted to try. I just didn't know if I could. It took Elvis that sort of push. Like, he saw in me what I didn't, and he knew he could pull it out of me. It took a while. Like, there was a couple, maybe a month or two where I sung some of the earlier demos, and it was like, this isn't good. We're not there yet. Like, and then somehow it just kind of clicked. I don't know when or what or how, but it just kind of happened. I remember some of the first ideas that I fully sung were Distance, The Big Picture off of the first record, and Epiphany. Those were like, okay, I think I can do this. I think we got this. Because there's the softer stuff from Distance, but like Big Picture and Epiphany kind of really required a little more grit than I was used to. So it was once we had those, it was like, okay, I think maybe I can do this.
When you first kind of heard yourself as a singer, are you kind of trying to find a certain tone also with your voice? Like find a place in your voice or anything? Or what?
Not really. I was just trying to sing what was comfortable to me. Like, I have a lot of singers that I love and I'm big fans of, but I don't think I'm necessarily trying to emulate anyone. I'm just singing what comes out. Like, I'm just trying to hit the notes that I wrote, really, more than anything. Like, maybe I'll try and be like, this needs a little bit more zhuzh, so to speak, but really I'm just trying to hit the notes.
Let me play Big Picture, actually.
Yeah.
That's how the hustle goes, a world of animals. Just really wanted you to know now. I know it's rational, you think it's criminal. Just shut your mouth and show you're able. Another mother code, just what you said, that's enough. You're just like Star Wars today. That's enough. Don't go and throw it away.
Super Queensy, that little line. The demo was called Queens.
You wanna say no for everyone.
It was really this verse that made me go, I think I can do it.
Yes. When I heard you sing like that, I was like, whoa.
Same with Dad. When when I first showed it to him, he was like, go back.
Yeah.
Play that again.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
like,
really, I was like,
when the fuck did you
wow.
learn you could do that? I was like, I don't know. Elvis made me do it.
One of the things that I love about Elvis's guitar approach when he's recording is that he uses a lot of these kind of fuzz tones and stuff like that.
Fox tone fuzz pedal.
Fox tone, yeah.
Fox tone fuzz pedal.
And it makes the guitars sound so aggressive.
Mm-hmm. It's layered in almost every single Mammoth song. It is the most core pedal. Like, I don't usually rely on pedals, really. But on our records, there's a Fox tone fuzz pedal.
Yeah.
90%.
Well, there's nothing, that particular pedal, I've got one over there somewhere.
They're velvety. We have a green one, we got a red one, a yellow, a blue one. We're like collecting them.
Yeah. Also, the bass, there's such beautiful bottom end on this.
Yeah.
I love the way that the bass drum and the bass kind of occupy their own space, and it's huge on the bottom end. But the mix on here is so round, right? It's like that's the thing. It's like it's super fat.
Yeah, I like how you're able to hear everything.
Yes,
like you can almost just kind of glaze over and focus on the vocals or the main melody. But if you really sit there and listen, you can hear everything that you want.
And when you're layering guitars like this, how many tracks are we hearing there?
Let's see. Probably quad tracks on the. There's probably like the 5153 for one and a double, and then a layer of the Fox tone.
And will you use the same guitar on both sides? We just double it like that?
Yeah. And there's like the the melody stuff. Although that chorus is literally just straight single string rhythm stuff. But then there's that little Queen of the Stone, cagey little, tone knob rolled off, fuzzy little solo thingy in the middle of that. But yeah, no, usually, we don't do more than quads. I think quads is plenty.
Yeah.
Just depends on the sound that we're going for.
Now, do you ever play where it's like, oh, that's too tight?
Not really. I think actually there's times where.
Do you ever try to play a little bit?
I'm my worst critic.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
There'll be times where I'm like, that wasn't good. And then Elvis will go, look, and he'll zoom in on,
It's like dead
look
on.
how close that is. I'm like, okay, fine. Like he won't let me shit on myself.
And what about the bass? What kind of bass are you playing?
Usually I'm using either the custom Wolfgang bass.
Yep.
Or I have my Franken basses. And then we also have a Stingray, a Music Man that we used on a lot of stuff too. But that's really, we don't venture out. I think Resolve off the first record, we were like, we need a P bass. So we literally just went to Guitar Center and bought a P bass and we came back and then recorded it. So I think there's a couple of like the lighter songs that we will use a P bass. Like I think on the new record on All in Good Time, I think we used a P bass.
Now, do you have all your stuff set up ready to record there?
Yeah,
when you start
usually
it?
when we're in like guitar mode, usually we've got the whole studio shifted into guitar mode. But usually, yeah, we can at any given time, take a couple minutes and just be like, okay, let's go over there and do this.
Now, you were talking about recording on tape. Mm-hmm. Tell me about why to record on tape and what do you like about it?
Really, it's just because it's there. I think because, we're in 5150, we have tape machines that work and we have tape. So why don't we at least try? Like, we're not editing by cutting it and stuff. We're just dumping it to Pro Tools.
Yeah.
But you get that, I don't know, it just has a shimmer to it that I don't know, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But
No,
I think it sounds good.
If you actually have a tape machine and record drums, especially.
Drums more than anything. The tape machine, really, that's...
It just does something to the transients that, can you put a plug-in on and get it to sound kind of like that? Sure. Maybe. No, actually, not really. Now, syncing them up and everything is a pain in the butt. Mm-hmm. So you have two 24 tracks that you're syncing together?
Yes, we have two Studers. And then basically before we hit record, it's like, are they locked?
Yeah.
We have lock. Okay, good, go.
Yeah.
And then it's good to go. But sometimes it's like, whoa, where's it going? Then the tape runs away and it's not matched up and shit freaks out. But I don't know. I think it's worth it. And it's fun. It feels like you're capturing a performance rather than like, let's just drill this verse until I think we have it. Because you can't. That's the thing. It's watching. We'll do the bass and the rhythms to tape as well. And Elvis operating the machine, it's like that's an instrument within itself.
Absolutely,
because there's a delay when he knows the delay timing and if you're messing up, you can't punch in the same place because then you'll hear it on the tape. Right. So it's like you have to know how to do it, and he knows how to do it, and he thinks I'm good enough to play it, and so it works for us.
Tell me about mixing, about how you guys mix the records and stuff. Are you there for it, or will he mix it and send them to you?
He's he has his process. We'll finish recording, and then he'll fly home, take a break, and then dive in. And when he's in, he's in. Like that's all he cares about, and he's doing that for however many. He probably does a song a day, so it takes him close to 2 weeks. And then he'll send it at the end of the day and be like, let me know. And then...
Now, he has a console, right? Does he have a...
Well, he had a Neve, but I bought it. And I put it in 5150. And,
is that the one that had 1081s or something in it?
It's the one that was... I need to ask him about the history again. He wrote it out for me. But, it was commissioned for ABBA in the 70s, I think. And, a lot... I think the Blue Album was mixed on it. And, some Elvis stuff. He knows. But I just know it sounds really good, and he's good at controlling it. And we needed a new board in the studio because we had it was what was it? It was do you remember, Pat, what it was called? the shitty board. It was it's an SSL. He's going to come out and say SSL. Watch. It was an SSL. Yeah. I remembered. It was just a hunk of metal that would have cost so much more to find the parts and the replacement part. Like basically, it was a half working board. It was a half working board when we did A Different Kind of Truth.
Okay.
So it was on its last legs, and we needed something new. And Elvis has this pristine Neve, and it runs so much cooler. Like we would have our air bills are so much better now,
right?
Because it just runs super quiet. It's smaller. We took the patch bay off and put it on the wall, so it's even smaller. So there's more space. The studio is much better for it.
Nice. Yeah. And what did he get in place of that?
I don't know. He's got like a mobile rig that he's got that I haven't seen it because he keeps coming to me to record.
I want to play a couple other things here.
Yeah.
Well, come on. How do you play and sing that?
Luckily, I've had to do it where I think Frank was with Slash, and so I had to. It's not easy.
I was gonna
one. I think for that rhythm, which is that song is a prime example of me writing everything like a drummer. That's literally just straight rhythm. Although what's funny is that I find myself that I write a lot where everything starts on the and. One, and, you know. And it's so funny that probably the most important part of that riff is finding the great place to mute it so you don't get a weird hum. Like you'll get a weird harmonic if you don't fully. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I just let Jon do it and I just sing without, but then I'll come in for the and then go back to singing. But then, there's a lot of layers in that verse or in the chorus. There's that's what I'm doing. And then Jon is going. And then Frank is doing my favorite part of that verse or of that chorus, which is I don't play it live. Like that. I like that.
I love that
diminished.
Yes.
That's probably one of, I think, the purest Mammoth songs. I think that, if you listen to that song, you kind of get what Mammoth is. It's a bit more, I think, I was, rhythmically excited with that song. Obviously, when you hear after the solo, that's just, me trying to get my Meshuggah fix into a Mammoth song.
Well, I love all the different kind of field changes and everything, and I love how when it goes to you, do do da do 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 da do do. And
I like to keep it open for choruses.
Yeah,
let the melody that's an Elvis thing too. It's especially on this new record, I tried not to overthink and was okay with keeping things simple.
Yeah.
And I really do like to try and oversimplify for choruses to let the melody kind of fly on top of everything. So that's why usually my choruses are just kind of straight. You know, that one is a good example.
Okay, let me ask you about this. When you're playing a beat like that for a chorus, do you consciously not bash the cymbals? Because a lot of times to play a groove like that, if you hit the cymbals too hard, it just makes everything sound like mush with the drum part.
I don't know. I
And
mean,
it sounds nice and open there and everything. Just when you were even doing that there, you weren't.
I can hit pretty hard, but I think, well, I don't know. You got a kit. Maybe we can figure it out.
I want to go in and see.
So I think half the time I'm just doing what works, you know, instinctually rather than thinking about it too much. Because that's how I kind of get lost if I think too much.
Tell me about this guitar here, Wolf. What's the deal with this?
This is the SA-126.
Okay.
This was a big thing because one, it doesn't have a Floyd, and it's a semi-hollow. Very unlike the brand. It's a center block.
Okay.
I really wanted to, for Mammoth, find my own sound as much as possible. And that's how I gravitated towards semi-hollow stuff. I just dug the warmth of it all, and that was another Elvis choice. He was like, let's try this and see what happens. And I really liked it. At the same time, I wanted to rep the brand, you know?
Yeah.
So it just was a thing where between Matt Bruck, who started the brand with Dad
With your
30
dad,
years
yeah.
ago, and Chip Ellis, the master builder at Fender, it was the three of us really letting them be the smart, amazing dudes they are and be like, I like this, I like that. That's how we came up with this.
How many prototypes will you go through to get that?
3.
Okay.
There was the initial one that was just unpainted, which I believe I played on Fire on the Taylor Hawkins, the UK one. I played that was the prototype number 1.
Nice. Oh, cool.
Prototype number 3, which is the white relic one. 2 was the burst one, which is all Mammoth 2.
Wolf,
And
what
it
color
just-
is that? Like olive or
Olive
something?
drab.
Olive
is
drab.
the
I love the matte finish on it. I want to know more about having the stop tailpiece and the bridge.
I mean, Floyd wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
So it was really about trying to, how do we introduce this whole other branch of guitar to a brand known for not doing that.
Right.
I mean, we did have the Wolfgang Custom, which is very much that sort of thing, which is why on the first tour I was playing that too. But just it was just about finding what worked, and this is what works for me. I think it's really versatile, you know, like the fact that I'm able to do, you know, chuggy, metal-y stuff when I need to, but also there's, you know, you can do cleans and everything in between.
Tell me about lead playing and stuff like that.
I think I've gotten a bit more comfortable over the years with it. It's a bit tough when your dad is fucking Eddie Van Halen. That's why I'm not comfortable like improvising. Like I like to really make sure. It's like another song to write in the song.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can tell, all of my solos usually just kind of flow and then have this crescendo of usually tapping because I think it sounds cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually I'm just sitting there. I like I think a good example was like the Take a Bow solo off the second record. I just sat in my living room with. Let me see if I can find it. The Logic demo of that progression. Yeah, so this is just my pre-pro. It should be Logic. Yeah. Barely hear the bass. So it was literally, I just repeated this over and over and over again. And that's when I just started, I don't know, feeling, you know? I just kind of chase what sounds good. I don't even know what mode I'm playing in. I don't know Nickelodeon from Mixolydian, but I just, you know. Just, you know, little things that just sound good to me. It's never really about like, how do I make this complicated or how do I, you know, I'm not trying to do anything other than what sounds good. I don't know. I like to tap because maybe it's just in my blood, but I think it just sounds cool. It's fun. But that's another thing I think you can trace to me being a drummer is that the way I tap is really rhythmic.
Okay, for example?
I think it's really like a triplet thing that I'm usually always tapping. I like to split taps in between, there's the eruption taps and there's the hot for teacher taps.
Okay.
Eruption, obviously, like your bard. And then the hot for teacher taps are the rolling open.
Never thought of it like that.
That's how I see
Yeah.
it. And so usually I tend to do rolling, or actually, well, no, it's a bit between. So for the take a bow part, you know, it's a triplet.
Well, if you're such a drummer.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing for the end. I think that's just a really fast triplet. Just really fast. That's more rolly, like hot for teacher, but the take a bow one is sort of in between.
Those are really tall frets on that guitar, which I love.
Jumbo frets.
Is it easier to get those taps out with that, or is it does it not matter for you?
It doesn't really matter for me.
Yeah.
As long as it's not. We just did this this benefit for NDSS where it was acoustic, and we played the end acoustically.
Yeah.
As long as it's not an acoustic, because that's not fun to try and play all that tapping on acoustic. But yeah.
Let me ask you just about your first experiences with music and growing up and stuff. Do you remember kind of being introduced to music and the first memories of what you heard?
I remember, obviously, like being at shows.
Yeah.
With the big green headphones,
earphones on,
and
yeah.
just kind of seeing Dad on there, and going like, I want to go see Dad. And a couple times, Mom let me, or I think I maybe shook out of her arms fast enough to run out there. But then I think there's some videos where you see me just look at the crowd and go like, who the fuck are you people? But I was never really thinking about music. It wasn't until I think it was in like kindergarten that I remember I think that was the first wave of like CD remasters they did.
Yeah.
And you know what, 96, 97. And there was a box of all of them. And I picked them up. I was like, Dad, what's this? And he goes, oh, fuck, I have not shown you any of this. He's like, this is it. You know, this is everything And then from there, I just started listening to, funnily enough, the Best of Volume 1. That's the one that had just come out, which is a great best of. Best ofs don't really matter anymore nowadays. But as an introduction to Van Halen and what, it was really, really great. And I remember I listened to that and I would go through all the records, but it was that one that when I started playing drums when I was 9, I would listen to that, and I'd listen to Enema of the State by Blink-182, and I would just try to recreate everything I heard. Probably failed, but it's just about learning. And yeah, so it was just a matter of, the only thing Dad taught me, which another thing that I totally understand, everybody thinks that Al taught me drums and Dad taught me guitar. No. Dad taught me drums. He taught me, I've told this story a bunch, he had a table and he had a couple magazines, and he goes, okay, right here, do this. Then with that one, half the time. And then do your foot in between your left hand. You're playing Highway to Hell now.
Yeah.
And when he saw that I could do that, he was like, I'm getting you a drum kit. And so that's basically the extent of what he taught me on the drums. And I would just listen to stuff that I wanted to play. I remember in middle school, I looked up the guitar tabs on how to play Chop Suey by System of a Down. So it wasn't really anything crazy. It was just hearing stuff I liked and trying to play them.
I saw something where you at a concert and somebody asked your dad to take a picture of you. You're at maybe a Tool show or something?
Yes. That
Right?
was the last show I went to my dad with. Yeah. 2019. It was, the Fear Inoculum tour. It was the end of the tour. We were waiting, and I heard that one of somebody who we had worked with on our tour was actually working on that tour. So we were going to go see him and possibly go backstage, which I was losing my mind about. And then this fun dude just kind of walked over and was like, yo, can you take a picture of me in front of the stage? And he handed the phone to Dad. And like Dad just looked like a dad. Like he didn't look like Eddie Van Halen that people would think. And I just thought the idea of that was so funny that the guy had no idea. It was not like a, how dare you not know? It was just like, this is so cute. I love this. And so I took the picture of him taking the picture and posted that, and it blew up. And I remember actually connecting with a friend of his that was like, he feels like such an idiot. I'm like, no, don't. It was so funny.
Was so cool.
I loved it. And it's nice to, be treated like a regular person.
Okay, so Tool, give me some other bands that are bands that you really that you really dig?
If I can rattle off everything that like kind of goes into Mammoth for me, it would be Foo Fighters, Nine Inch Nails, Tool, Jimmy Eat World, Blink-182, Alice in Chains, Carnival, Meshuggah.
That's a really wide range of music there.
I think
you have your pop punk thing of
I think you can hear that.
Yeah.
I think to a stand away observer, you probably just hear "Don't Back Down" and go like, "Oh, every song probably sounds like that." Where that song I feel is really actually not a core sound of the band and more emulating sort of an arena rock sort of song. I think you can hear the Nine Inch Nails influence on a song like Stone. I think you can hear the Jimmy Eat World influence on a song like Miles Above Me or Think It Over. I think you can hear, the Foo influence, especially on, I don't know when this is coming out, but on the first song on the new record, One of a Kind, it's very Foo-y. Yeah, I like the idea of kind of, I almost envision it as like this bar where it's like over here, there's like Distance and Think It Over. And then over here is like Optimist and Stone and, the heavier ethereal stuff. But like, and then in the center, there's maybe stuff like Epiphany and Mammoth that are more like the core sound of what Mammoth is. So I like having that variance. I think it's nice.
Okay, tell me about your live rig. What are you playing through?
I'm playing these, and I'm playing. We're repping the brand, honestly. We're each on a 50 watt. I'm on the 6L6, John's on the EL34, and Frank is on the S.
Now this would be a 6L6.
Yes.
What does the 34 sound like?
It's warmer, fuzzier, which helps because John is like the fuzzy layer guy, whereas the S is the very like, on top, high gain stuff.
What do you like about the two different things?
It just has that punchy mid that I need as a mostly rhythm guy.
Yeah.
It's just that punchiness that I'm on the blue channel almost the entire time.
Yeah.
Unless I'm on the solo, I just hit.
Love the blue channel.
Yeah, I hit the red for a solo here and there, but it's that punchy mids of the blue channel that is just exactly what works for me.
Are you running two amps simultaneously, or do you have a?
No.
Are you running clean and dirty, or are you doing channel switching?
No, just channel switching. I don't think I ever use the green channel. Probably will need to on some of the new stuff, but yeah, no, I'm really just running the blue one the whole time.
Okay, what about pedal board? What do you got on your pedal board?
Really, it's just stuff to have fun. There's nothing I really rely on. Yeah. I mean, I have a wah for solos that need the wah. I use the afterneath pedal, that reverb pedal a lot for the spacey, like for the distance solo. I use it for that. But really everything, I got a whammy pedal because I think it's fun to bother everybody and just make...
Annoy people?
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll have, I'll have the phaser, the flanger, what else? And another delay, but I end up just using the afterneath pedal for any spacey stuff. So nothing too crazy.
You being a drummer and having Garrett, who's a great drummer in your band, you think it's something that he appreciates, the fact that you're a drummer, and it's kind of fun for him, right?
We play a bit differently. Like he leads with his left, so and we think differently as drummers, and he really likes.
In what way? Tell me about that.
I don't know. I think just a certain part, like the way I play certain parts, he wouldn't think of, and the way he plays certain parts, I wouldn't think of. And I think like for like Epiphany, for example, it's like, so he takes some of those things as like, this is cool. I'm playing stuff that I wouldn't normally play. So yeah, Garrett's the best. I love him. Known him for. I mean, we started playing in Tremonti together 12 years ago. Wow. Yeah. So he was, I didn't have any other in my head. Garrett was always, it's like when we're live, I need that man.
When did you start playing bass with Van Halen? 13, 15?
I started rehearsing when I was 14.
Okay.
December of 2005, 6? So 15. Or was it 2000? Could have been 5. 14, 15. Yeah. So I was young. That was 20 years ago.
My God. That's really...
I've been doing this more than half my life now.
When did you practice the most?
Drums are definitely what I've practiced the most.
Okay.
That's when I would really try to memorize every song, every Travis Barker fill I would try to memorize. And then once I heard Tool, that was a whole nother challenge of like trying to figure out how the hell do I play Anima? You know, what is going on where he's, you know, stuff like that.
And
Or
this
like,
is stuff that you figured out on your own, right?
yeah, just from listening, and I could be playing it wrong. I don't know, but it feels good. I think it sounds like it. But yeah, it was just learning, you know, trying to play stuff I like, you know, and I like Tool.
I like Tool too.
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody asked me a question like, who is on your Mount Rushmore of like each instrument? And I was like, I think every member of Tool is on every single, you know. Maynard was one of those people. He's one of my favorite singers of all time. And he was one of those guys where I was like, I love you so much, I will never ever bother you. Just keep me and yourself, you know. Sometimes I'm too big a fan to introduce myself or to just bother them with my presence. And he was one of those guys. I remember we were at Download. Pussifer was playing the same day we were, and John, my guitar player, was like, "Dude, Maynard's over there." I was like, "Cool, I'm not going over there."
He's very approachable, though.
Yeah, and
Once you get over that,
once you
get over the fact that it's Maynard, right?
yeah, but then Ozzy called all of us to do the Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah.
And then I was forced to be like, when I couldn't believe it when my manager was like, "Dude, guess who's singing the song with you?" Maynard. I couldn't believe it. And so meeting him, and you know, we hit it off. He's just an awesome dude. He's really, really cool. So now I guess it's just funny how the way that happens. He's the best, man.
I still, you know, even though I know Maynard fairly well, and when I see him, I've seen him, you know, with Tool, and it's I still am like, wait, this is the same guy.
It's crazy,
right?
Yeah.
You think that too?
Yeah, I haven't known him since I've gone to one of his shows yet.
Right.
Hopefully, Perfect Circle will go out or Tool will go out. I could see him again.
Yeah.
Maybe hang out with him and bother him before he goes on. But yeah, I've always loved how unique he is as a front man, and like he does his thing, and that's what it is, and it's fucking cool. Like I think a lot of the criticism I get are from people who are kind of stuck in the 80s, and they're like, we need a front man who's doing splits and going wow in between every verse, you know. And that's not me. The bands that...
Wolf, did they realize it's 2025 or what?
No,
okay.
They don't. And it's the bands I idolize are bands that get on stage and just fucking play the hell out of what their music. So bands like Tool and Meshuggah, like they're standing there and they're playing the hell out of their music at you, and it's powerful and it's monstrous. And so that's what we try to do. You know, we just try to play the hell out of our music. We don't, you know, only thing we play to is a click track, you know. And although that's a problem for some people too, I hear, but I think it's cool. My line with like tracks and stuff is, if you're up there pretending to play something, you fucked up. I get like maybe having layers, or you know, you don't have an orchestra, or maybe you want a guitar harmony baked into something. Yeah, no, we just play to a click, and we're just a live band that just tries to play everything as perfect as possible.
So of these people that you speak of, there are people that are my age pretty much, right? Because I was in 10th grade when Van Halen 1 came out. I just was. This was like a massive influence on me. But yet I've always continued to listen to new music.
Yeah. Well, it's like the people who say rock is dead.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. You're not looking.
Right. Okay, so what do you got coming up for the rest of this year and next year?
New album coming out October 24th.
Okay.
The End. We got a headline tour with Miles Kennedy, which is going to be really crazy. We've toured together many times, like with Slash or with Alter Bridge, but this is the first time with his solo stuff, so it's really exciting. So we've got that tour. You can go to mammoth.band to check out, or just follow me wherever on socials to check the dates. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. You got to come to a show. I'm sure we're playing Atlanta or something.
Yeah,
so
can't wait.
You got to come by.
Awesome. Wolf, pleasure to have you here.
Dude, absolutely.
You're the man.